Odell Beckham Jr., Rams, played really well. In fact, Pro Football Focus ranked Beckham 89.9. That is the highest grade for a wide receiver during wild card weekend. And the numbers weren't huge, but he's involved in a number of different ways. He threw a pass that was pretty good. They're finding ways to get him involved pretty quickly with Matthew Stafford. What does it say that the Rams were able to incorporate him pretty quickly, and the Browns couldn't unlock that for the better part of a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years maybe?
He certainly had the opportunities in Cleveland, and it just didn't happen for him. And you can play armchair psychologist, you can play head coach on the side, whatever you want to call it. It didn't work. It was clear that it was he was somewhat at fault. I think the offense was somewhat at fault. I think Baker Mayfield shares some culpability in that, and I think all of those parties will acknowledge that too. He's just a better fit for what Los Angeles is trying to do. I think he accepts the fact that the Cooper Kupp is having such a spectacular season that he's learned that he can play off of that and still thrive. And I'm not sure that he ever really felt that in Cleveland. He felt like he had to be the number one. I know he's close friends with Juice, Jarvis Landry, but it felt like he needed to show that he was the guy, and it just didn't happen for whatever reason. The Rams, look, he's had some issues with the Rams as well. It hasn't been all great. But I tell you what, that game, he played phenomenal. The pass that he caught in perfect stride from Matthew Stafford, those are throws that Baker Mayfield just never made to him. Some of that is the fact that the Browns also, they couldn't have enough other guys to shake coverage off of him. The defenses in the AFC North didn't respect Jarvis Landry, Austin Hooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones in the way that they respect Cooper Kupp. And Tyler Higbee and the weapons that the Rams have, and the fact that Matthew Stafford isn't afraid to throw a ball into traffic and play to one of Odell's great strengths, which is going and making a contested catch. That's not something that Baker really tried to do all that much with him in Cleveland, and not something that Odell seemed all that comfortable with, quite frankly, in Kevin Stefanski's offense. So there's a whole lot of things that go into it. I'm happy for Odell. I'm happy to see him break out. I just wish it would have happened when he was wearing the orange instead of the Rams horns, because that was a little tough to swallow. And from a personal standpoint, I also cover the Detroit Lions and have a long time covering Matthew Stafford. Last night was really weird, watching two guys who've struggled a lot over the last few years and took a lot of scapegoating from their old teams. For them to thrive last night was an interesting night at my house, let me tell you.
Let me ask you this. So let's dive into that just a little bit deeper. Is it because the system that Kevin Stefanski runs does not, it doesn't encourage freelancing, if you will, however you want to put it? It's be here, be there on time, be in this position on time. And Stephon Diggs couldn't deal with that type of system. Yeah. That's why he wanted out of it. Is it as simple as that?
That's certainly a large part of it. Odell is a guy who will freelance on his releases on routes. Every 7-yard out pattern is different with him. He's not going to run them all the same. He's going to see, okay, well, the defensive back, he has his right foot back a little bit on this, so I think he's going to give me a cleaner release to the outside, so I might try to take it up a little bit more and break it off later. Like in a timing-based and precision offense like Kevin Stefanski runs, you can't do that. You've got to be when and where you have to be at the right time, and it just didn't happen for him enough. And Diggs is another one that's like that. There are several receivers that don't necessarily conform to the strict structure that the Stefanski offense, the Kubiak-based offense, Shanahan, whatever you want to call it. It does require strict adherence to being when and where you need to be. However you get there, and he just wasn't doing that as much. So some of that is certainly on him. I think we as Cleveland media and as Cleveland fans also, when we saw that we were getting him, I think we overlooked some flaws to his game. I will also say I don't think that he's nearly the athletic demon that he was early on in his career. I think the injuries have really piled up, and I'm not sure that he accommodated his game well enough to acknowledge that either. So that goes into it too. But in Los Angeles, he's got a quarterback who can look. Matthew Stafford for my money, has the best arm in the league. He can fit a ball into a window that is darn near closed and make it happen. That's the kind of quarterback that Odell thrives with, and that's what you're seeing right now. I'm fascinated to see if he can make it happen again this against the Buccaneers, who have a little bit more of a physical coverage presence and also a bit more of a pass rush. We'll see how that handles, but against Arizona, man, Odell looked really good, no doubt about it.